And here's how I know it's so important. Again, a story involving my own children about why it's so important that we know our history and are able to articulate that and the dangers of not knowing it. So, as it turns out, our daughters are both dancers. And a couple of years ago, when they were, let's say, 12 and a half, 10 and a half, I was driving them to dance one day after school. And in order to get to the studio where they were both dancing at that time, we had to drive from the school to the studio. It's about an 8-minute drive, and right in the middle of that drive is a public housing project. And so we're driving the route, we're right in between two sort of public housing developments, and we're there at the red light waiting for it to turn green. And the 10-and-a-half-year-old daughter, Rachel, she looks up and she says, Daddy, why is it that pretty much everybody in this neighborhood is black? Now that is an incredibly good anthropological and sociological inquiry. It's really very observant and a very important question. Now, the only reason she asked it, she probably noticed in many of our drives to the studio that we were driving through a virtually all black, and you could tell from the infrastructure, poor community. But that was the first day she asked about it. Not the first day she noticed it. I'm sure she'd noticed it. But that day she decided to inquire. And probably the only reason she even bothered was because she figured Daddy might know because Daddy talks about this stuff, so I'll ask him. Like if I was an accountant, she totally wouldn't have asked me that. She'd have been like, how do I do my taxes? I'd have been like, Google it, I don't know, TurboTax, something electronic, right? But she figured I might know, so she asked the question, why is this neighborhood pretty much all black? And her sister, of course, because this is what siblings do, right? Older siblings try to show off for the younger sibling, and so the older sister immediately jumps in to impress Daddy with the answer, which she somehow knew, or at least in part. She jumps in, she says, redlining, which oddly enough was true.